to save her dying father. This poor girl sells herself to be the rich man's wife for 6 months. When his wife of 6 months. But the rich man looked at her very playfully. Just because the rich always thought she was a lover of money. He let her sign a contract. The desperate girl had no choice but to sign her name on the contract. The rich man asked her to write the number she wanted on the check, and the girl only wrote $186,000 on the check. When the rich man saw this, he had doubts. He asked her incomprehensibly, did she need only this? The man thought in his heart, is it her way? Turned out the money is just enough for Elsa's father's medical treatment. But she didn't explain it to Omer. Omer silently warns the girl, if she breaches the contract during these 6 months, according to the contract, she needs to pay 10 times the amount of compensation. When the girl just left, the rich man gave her an address. Let her have to be there at 2 p.m. They have an important appointment. The girl can only reluctantly agree. But she doesn't know. Omer plans to marry her in 3 days. When Elsa sees the hospital bills are over, the doctor told her, it's a little late. Her family needs to be fully prepared. For her, this news sounded like the trumpet of her father's death. Like barking the horn of a father's death. Just when her father entered the operating room. Although the girl was so sad now, she didn't tell her mother. The money was earned by selling herself. And her mother thought it was the money of Carl. At this time, Omer called. But when he took office, Omer called, let her come to the appointment now. At this time, the girl's father is in the operating room. She wants Omer to wait. But Omer made her have to enforce the terms of the contract. There is no way. She can only helplessly go to the appointment. She came to a clothing store. It was Omer who was about to change her clothes. He didn't want the girl to stand beside him shabby. At this time, the girl's father's operation was successfully completed. When the two got to Omer's sister's house, Omer immediately announced to everyone that they were getting married in 3 days. His sister cried with joy when she heard the news. In fact, the reason why Omer did it, just to fulfill the last wish of his sister's life. When his mother proposed, they want to meet the girl's parents next time. Omer said that the girl was an orphan. I've never seen such a mother. After learning that the surgery was completed, the first thing she thought about wasn't how her daughter paid the fees, but she wanted to steal the life-saving money that Carl sent. It doesn't matter what method her daughter used to make enough money. She also fantasized about Carl becoming her son-in-law, to make more money from him. And Carl stiffly believed her words. Think this time the money saved the girl's father. He will be able to successfully have the girl. At this time, the girl didn't know what her dear mother did behind her back. But the girl is worried about her father's condition. So she found an excuse to leave the place. But Omer warned her. If she wants to leave now, the contract will be cancelled. She must pay back the money immediately. Turned out when the girl signed, she didn't read the terms of the contract carefully. But just then, the girl's phone rang. After learning that her father's operation was completed, she also ignored Omer's warning and just ran away. But Omer said he wanted to see the check tomorrow at 9 o'clock. When the girl rushed to the hospital, her mother saw her dress and was shocked. Carl was very confused. How did the girl dress so sexy? But Elsa didn't care about him. She went straight to the ward. At this time, Carl is very angry. The girl's mother explained. The girl is looking for a job today, so she dressed nicely. But Carl warned the girl's mother, don't let the girl go looking for a job. If not his money, her husband is dead now. At this time, the girl's mother was very guilty. She had to comfort Carl. After her husband wakes up, she will finalize his wedding with the girl. That's how she got Carl out of the way. But she doesn't know. The girl got married a few days later. When she entered the ward, she didn't ask about the surgery money. But blame her where she went today. Where did this expensive dress come from? Haven't waited for the girl to explain things. She continued to teach the girl a lesson. And insulted which rich man the girl was hanging out with. Scold her for tarnishing the innocence of the family. The girl swears not to do these things. But her mother doesn't listen. Turn to take the money and slam the door then leave. Leaving the poor girl accompanies her father in front of the hospital bed. At this time, the girl also recalled Omer's words. She read the contract carefully. Only then did she discover, if the contract is not performed, she was going to pay Omer so much. The girl just got home and received a message. It was Omer who gave her the deadline. If she doesn't show up to Omer before 9 o'clock, the consequences are beyond the girl's responsibility. When the girl just got dressed to find Omer, her mother appeared. Found out that the girl was going out to steal the money. She pinched the girl's free hair. force her to promise Carl's marriage. This poor girl sells for $186,000 to a rich man. Sell yourself to become a rich man, only because she wants to save her seriously ill father. But now she faces the risk of default, because her mother received the money from her suitor. She didn't want to take it back, so she forces the girl to marry Carl. But the girl has to see Omer before 9 o'clock. If she can't make it, she will be in breach of the contract. She needs to compensate Omer. In order not to breach the contract, she can only do her best to knock her mother away. She runs out of the house in a hurry, and her mother wants to wait for her to come back to give her a lesson. At this time, Omer is watching the time. 5 minutes until 9 o'clock. Omer thought in his heart, if the girl can't make it, then don't blame him. At the last second, the girl is here. After Omer sees her, he asks her if she understood the contract. Elsa reluctantly answered, she will abide by all the terms of the contract. Omer said with satisfaction that from now on, she must follow his instructions completely. The girl can only compromise and agree with him. Then Omer took her away. The moment the girl gets on the elevator, she was seen by her best friend to her back. Then she made a phone call with her brother Carl. When Carl learned that the girl worked there, he was mad with anger. If you have another man, I won't let you live. I'm not dead. Carl thinks he must be betrayed. The unhappy him ran to the lobby of Omer's company. He shouted the girl's name. In the end, he was thrown out by the security guards. The girl is on the way to try on the wedding dress now. She doesn't know these things happened. Carl is going crazy and comes to the girl's house. He asked the girl's mother directly, where did she go? But the mother said that the girl was with her father in the hospital. Carl doesn't believe her nonsense. Indicates that they will go to the hospital now to see if the girl is really there. The mother has to agree. Turn back into the house. Just let the little daughter call the girl. But the girl is picking up wedding dresses now. Her mother orders her to come to the hospital immediately. But the girl doesn't dare to leave now. When she came out wearing the wedding dress she chose, make Omer's eyes shine. And Omer's sister thinks he's lucky. How can he find a beautiful girlfriend like this girl? At the same time, Carl and the girl's mother also came to the hospital. But the girl was not seen in the hospital room. The girl's mother continued to act and lie to Carl. The father is sleeping. The girl must go downstairs to breathe fresh air. Carl is pressing and warns her. If the girl doesn't show up within an hour, don't blame him for being rude. But 2 hours have passed. The girl is still missing. Carl also runs out of patience. After he gave the girl's mother a pair of harsh words, he left. On the other side, the girl also leaves the bridal shop. When she was sent home by Omer, Carl, who is currently waiting, sees everything.